Hi guys. Okay, we're going to do Word Chapter 2 guided project. So you're going to download two files. One is your starting document and one is the instructions. And we're going to go through formatting and how to improve the appearance of the letter that we're doing. So we're expanding further into formatting. We're going to do themes and we're going to do word art and stuff like that. So a little bit further than what we did in Chapter 1. Okay, so like I said, you need these two files. And you're going to open up your starter document that has your last name in it. And it should look something like this. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, again, ensure, once you download it and open it, ensure that your non-printing characters are turned on. I've already done that. Again, here is your paragraph markers right here. I call them paragraph marks, and you can see it's paragraph marks here is what it's called, but the book calls it non-printing characters. Okay, so it says change the capitalization of the recipient, Miss Samantha Smith, and her address to capitalize each word. Okay, so here, what we're going to do is we're going to select her whole name and addresses, okay? And we're going to come over here, and here is your change case button. We're going to click the down arrow, and we're going to say capitalize each word. And you'll see it capitalizes each word based on the way it was. Change the capitalization of the state abbreviation to uppercase. So I'm going to choose VA right there, and again go to change case and say uppercase, because your state is supposed to be, both letters are supposed to be capitalized. And then capitalize her first name in the salutation. So under Samantha, I'm just going to come and change that to a capital S. Okay, then down at the bottom here it says to change the name Dr. Johnson in the last line of the letter to Mia Grant. So I'm going to take Dr. Johnson out, and I'm going to say Mia Grant. And then I'm going to hit enter because they want a new line. And we're going to type her email address, miagrant3087 at mymail.net. Okay. Do not hit enter after pressing this, after typing in this email address. If you hit enter, it's going to turn it into a hyperlink, and it's going to give you an extra non-printing character or an extra return, and that's going to grade that wrong. If you happen to hit enter, you can hit backspace like I just did, and it will remove that, or you can right click on it and say remove hyperlink, and it will do that, but you still need to get rid of that last return. Okay, so we are going to change the alignment of the body paragraphs beginning with on behalf and ending with seeing you on July 12th to justify. So we're going to take on behalf all the way to July 12th. So you're going to select all of those lines. Okay. And here are your alignment buttons. Okay. So you've got a left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, and justify. So justify means that it's going to be even on both sides, the left and the right. So we're going to change it to justify. Okay, then we're going to add we're going to apply a right arrow bullet to the paragraph marker under the first body paragraph. So here's your first body paragraph right here. So this paragraph marker right there is where we want our cursor. We're going to type the following items, pressing enter after each of the first three lines. Okay? Do not press enter after the last item in the list. So I'm going to put in, so we want bullets. So we're going to go to a bullet here, and they want the arrow. Okay, so you're going to change it to that arrow. Your right arrow bullet. And we're going to type in participating, if I can spell properly. And then hit enter. participating in the Dental Crossword Puzzle Challenge, writing a convincing letter to the Tooth Fairy, digging through the dental treasure chest, and finding hidden toothbrushes in the dental office. Okay, again, do not hit enter after that last one. Okay, then we're going to change the paragraph spacing of the text from the salutation, Dear Samantha, through the last paragraph that ends in Seeing You on July 12th. So I'm going to select from Dear Samantha all the way down to See You on July 12th. Okay? And we are going to change it to a 12-point spacing after. So the easiest way to do this, you've got two ways. This is your line and paragraph spacing right here. But it doesn't give you a lot of options other than line spacing. You can add space before or after, but you don't know how much space you're adding. So you can go to line spacing options, or you can just hit this dialog box launcher that's going to open up this dialog box. And here you can see spacing where it says before and after. And we want to add 12 points after. And say OK. And then we want to remove this paragraph mark just after the Dear Samantha. So this paragraph mark here, I'm going to hit the delete key, and it brings that up. Okay, change the font of Dr. Johnson Orthodontics Office in the first body paragraph to all caps. So right here, Dr. Johnson Orthodontics Office, change case here and to do, you're not going to do uppercase. You're going to go to your font tab here and you're going to change it to all caps. I know that it looks the same, uppercase and all caps, but it's going to, the grader is going to be able to see the difference. So you need to make sure you go into the font tab and you click all caps and say OK. You know, the purpose of these worksheets or these exercises is not necessarily to make it look exactly like it does in the instructions, although that is what you need to do. But even though there's more than one way to do things, like we could have done the uppercase on this and it would have looked exactly the same. They're trying to show you different ways in which to do it. So it's important that you do it the way that it's telling you to do it. In the real world, if you had done uppercase or all caps, it would have looked the same and it would have been fine. But for our purposes and for this class, you need to do the step that the instructions tell you to do, regardless if it looks the same. Step 7, it says select the line of text beginning with date, so here, and ending with Richmond, Virginia. Increase the left and right indents to 1.25 and change the paragraph spacing to 0 points space after. Do not deselect the text. Okay, so here are your indent and your indent markers here. But again, this is only going to do a left indent and it's not going to do a right indent. So we need to go into our paragraph dialog box again. And here's your indentation. So we're going to change our left indentation to 1.25. Take out that 0. And our right indentation to 1.25. And we want to change our paragraph spacing to 0. 0 after. And say OK. Okay, so it kind of closed that up a little bit. Okay, to the same selection, which is why it told us not to deselect the text. In the same selection, apply a box border, selecting a double line with a line width of 1/4 point. Okay, so here is your borders and shadings button right here. We're going to click the down arrow and we're going to go ahead and go to borders and shadings. We need our dialog box, so that's what I'm getting. We want a box border right there. The style is the double line, which it says is the 7th in the list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, your double line. Okay, and then we want a line width of 1/4 point. So here it's defaulting to 1/2. I'm going to change that to 1/4. And we want to make sure that it says apply to paragraph, because we only want it around this paragraph, so that we're making it stand out, so that your eye is drawn to it and you see that important information. And say OK. And so now we have a box border. Okay, so now we want to delete the extra tab formatting marks to the left of the lines containing the date, the time, and the office, so that they all line up. You can see here, these are here and these are here. We want all of them to line up together. So I'm just going to put my cursor before the J in July, and I'm going to hit backspace. I'm going to go down, and this time I'm actually going to hit delete. Backspace will work too, because it will remove that other one. But now you can see all lines are lined up together. Okay, step 10. Delete the paragraph mark before the paragraph that begins, please call our office. So this paragraph marker right here, we want it to go away because that's really too much space in there. So we're going to hit the delete key. In step 11, change the paragraph spacing of the line containing Glen Allen, Virginia. Here we go, Glen Allen, Virginia. To 12-point spacing after. So I'm going to just, that one line and only that one line, I'm going to go to the paragraph spacing and I'm going to say 12 points after and say OK. And then it says, change the paragraph spacing of the line containing sincerely. So down here at the bottom, for sincerely, we want to change it to 6-point spacing before. So we're going to go to 6-point spacing before. And then add paragraph spacing of 6-point spacing before to the paragraph beginning with Dr. Johnson is pleased to let you know. So right here you can kind of see that this is bumped up to this box where you've got space here. We want to add space between the box and this paragraph. So we're going to go again to 6-point before. Now this 12-point after, leave it alone, because that is this spacing after schedule and before please call our office. So you're going to leave that because it's all the same paragraph. So we'll say OK. Okay, then step 12, change the font of the entire document to Bookman Old Style and change the font size of the entire document to 12-point. So the easiest way to do this, to select the entire document, is hold down your Control key and hit A, and that selects everything in the document. You can go and highlight and drag down. It's up to you. I do Control A because it's quick and it's easy. We're going to go to Arial here for your fonts, and we want to change this to Bookman Old Style. There's Bookman Old Style, and we want to change the font to 12. Very good. Okay, step 13, with the insertion point at the beginning of the document, so before the J in June up here, we're going to search online pictures using the keyword tooth and then insert an appropriate image from the results. So I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and here's Online Pictures, and I'm going to search for tooth. And you're going to find all sorts of little tooth pictures. Decide which one you want. I'm going to choose this first one, and I'm going to say Insert. And it comes, kind of really messes with everything, right? We want to position it in the right-hand corner. So we're going to position it over here. And actually, I'm going to change that before I do that. We're going to change the wrapping style to square. So here's your square wrapping. Okay, now I'm going to move this over here because then it's going to give me a better positioning. And we want to change our height to 1.1. So here under, notice my picture is selected and I have a new tab over here, Picture Tools. Okay. Let's see something really fast. So alignment is right, related to the margin. That's what we want. Okay. So again, we've got our picture selected, and so we get this Picture Tools and this Format tab. These tabs and groups will show up periodically depending on what you're doing. Obviously, if you're not working on a picture, then why do you need the Picture tab? It's just taking up space. So if you don't see the Picture Tools up here, that means you don't have your picture selected, which means you're not going to be modifying anything on the picture. So make sure your picture is selected, and then you're going to get that Picture Tools tab. So from here, over here on the right hand side, there is size. We want to change that size to 1.1 and hit enter, and now you'll see it's much smaller. And it automatically changes the width for you as well. And then we're going to apply a picture style of bevel, perspective, left, white. Okay, so you have picture styles here, picture border, picture effects, and picture layout. So picture layout, we're not going to worry about that one right now. Picture effects and picture border. In the instructions, it will tell you choose picture effect shadow or choose picture style. So in our case, we're doing picture style, so we're going to choose one of these styles. And we want bevel, perspective, left, and then white. Okay, so if we do, we just kind of have to hover over them to figure out which one it is that we need. If you hit the down arrow, you're going to see all of them. So this one, there it is, bevel, perspective, left, comma, white. That's the one we want. So it's it's turned to the side, it's got some depth to it. So, you know, it's making the picture look like it's not just something that's stuck on the page. Okay, at the end of the document, insert a next page section break. So after this paragraph marker in her email address, and we need to make sure I didn't do that. That needs to make sure that that's a lowercase. Okay, so after this paragraph marker, we're going to add a section break. So not a page break, but a section break. So again, we're going to go to our our layout tab, and here's our breaks. And you'll see here there is under section breaks, there's your next page section break, which I believe, yeah, next page section break is what we want. Okay, so now it says section break and we go to the next page. So now we're in what's called section 2. And from here, we want to change the orientation to landscape. So by doing this, it only applies it to that section. That's why we put a section break, because it says, okay, for this section, I want the orientation to be landscape instead of portrait. And that way your document can have more than one layout as far as orientation, and margins, columns, those types of things are all controlled by those section breaks. Okay, we're going to set the paragraph spacing to 6 point after. So let's go to our paragraph spacing right here, and we're going to say 6 point after. And we're going to change our font size to 14. So we'll go back to our home tab, and we're going to change our font size to 14. And we're going to keep it Bookman old, but we're going to change it to 14. Okay, in section 2, center the first line. So I'm in section 2, so make sure your cursor's on the first line of the second page. And I'm going to center it. And I'm going to type in Lake George Water Park Fun Day! Exclamation point. Perfect. And then we're going to hit enter, and we're going to type July 7th, 2018. Make sure that there's a space between your comma and your 2. We're going to hit enter, change our alignment to the left, and we're going to change our font size back down to 12. Okay? Next, we're going to set tab stops. We're going to set a left tab stop and a right tab stop. So tab stops are when you hit the tab key, it's defining how far is that tab mark. Okay? By default, it is a half an inch. So it's at this 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. By default, that's what it is. But we want to change that because we want to go to a left tab stop that's at 2 inches. And so for every line, we don't want to have to hit tab 4 times to get to the 2 inch mark. We just want to add a tab stop that says we hit tab once and it goes to 2 inches. Easy enough. We hit tab again, then it goes to 7 inches. So it will automatically go over. And that way we don't have to really kind of guess where we're going. So again, we're going to go to our paragraph dialog box, and down here is a button for tabs. We're going to click that. And this is where our tab stop positions where we can define them. And it says right here, your default tab stops are at half an inch. So our first one, we want at 2 inches, and we want it to be a left tab stop. So here's your alignment is left. That's what we want. We don't want any leader lines. So we're good there. And so we're going to say set. And so now it says, here's your tab stop. The next one, we want at 7 inches. We want it to be a right aligned tab stop. So we want all the text aligned to the right. And then we want a dot leader line. So we want this where it has all these dots. And we're going to say set and say OK. So now, if I hit the tab, it automatically goes to your 2 inch mark. And you can see you have this arrow here that means it's a left aligned tab. And here's an arrow here that says it's a right aligned tab. So it's giving you that information, and you can tell that that's where those 2 tab stops are. So we're going to say check in, and then we're going to hit tab, and you're going to notice it. See how it puts all those dots in there? Those are your leaders. And we're going to say 9 o'clock. Okay, and then hit enter, hit tab, water slide, hit tab. And we're going to say 9:30 to 11 o'clock. Make sure you do not put spaces between your 9:30 and your 11, and your dash. Tab, lunch at the pavilion, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Wave pool, and then bungee, and as I'm typing all this, I'm thinking, gee, I wish my orthodontist did this fun stuff. And then parent pick up at the gate. Perfect. Do not press enter after you do this parent pickup. Okay, then we're going to change the theme to integral. So the theme is basically setting colors and fonts. So we're going to go to our design. Again, design is how it looks on the page, not how it's placed on the page. So we're going to go to themes, and you have this integral theme right here. So we're going to do that, and not a whole lot changed. You really can't tell, but if you go to themes, it's going to show that integral is selected. Okay, check the spelling and grammar and correct any errors. So I'm going to do the spelling and grammar check. PM, they want a period after that M, so we're going to change that. And we don't have any more errors. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to come back down here to the second page, and we're going to format this text, this first one, this Lake George Water Park Fun Day. We're going to format it as word art. Okay, not as styles, because that's going to be completely different. Okay, we want to come to insert, let me think. So we're going to go to under insert. Well, okay, here's your word out. So if we do insert and choose word out art, you're inserting new word art, which we don't want. We want to format this because we already have the text there. We want to format this as word out. So we're going to go word art. So we're going to go to the home tab, and this is your word art, your text effects and stuff like that. So we're going to do word art. We're going to hit the down arrow, and here are your word art styles. Okay. And we want the style fill dark green accent 5. So we want fill dark green accent 5. That's a gradient fill. This is a regular fill. I gotta find which one it is. I know it's here because I had found it before. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's go ahead and do this one. I'm not sure why this is different than my other computer. So let's go ahead and choose this dark green accent 1 instead of accent 5. And I'm going to try to figure out why it's doing that. Okay, so that's interesting. It says dark green accent 5, which is what we wanted, but under here it said accent 1. So there's a mix-up in the actual wording. So in there it says dark green accent 5 as our color. So we have the right one. It's just here it says accent 1 instead of accent 5, but it's actually accent 5. So we should be good. If for some reason you get counted wrong because of the color on that, please let me know and I will fix it. Okay, I'll give you the points back for it. So again, we're going to have this. Now we got that figured out. We're going to take this. We want to change the wrapping style to top and bottom. Okay, so we're going to go back a step, actually. So this does format it just like the word art, but it's not making it an actual word art. So we're going to go back and we're going to actually do an insert of word art. Just make sure that your text is highlighted because then it will replace that text. So we're going to say insert. We're going to go to word art. We're going to select the same one that we did before. But as you notice, now it makes it a picture. And it gives you these drawing tools, and that's what we want. So I'm sorry for the confusion. Please make sure that you do that. So here is where we can change the wrapping style here. So here's your text wrapping, your layout options. We want top and bottom. Okay. And we want to change the font size to 24. And the font size is going to be back over here on the Home tab. Here it says 36. We're going to change it to 24. Okay. And then we want to drag to the center the object horizontally on the first line. So here it's over here on the left. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to drag it. And I want it in the center. When you get to the center, you're going to see that green line that shows up. That means you're in the center of the document, and that's what you want. Okay. Once you're done with that, we're done with this project. So you're going to save it and close it out and submit it, and you're good to go. And we'll see you for Word Chapter 3. Have a great day.